Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We're going to be in the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 14. Even so hath the Lord ordained that which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. And I'm going to repeat that. Even so hath the Lord ordained that which preach the gospel should live of the gospel. That is right there. When you take this verse out and speak it, it clearly is stating, practice what you preach. There's many people out there that's preaching and teaching the word, and I'm just not talking about actual preachers, even though this also includes them as well. But many people are out here, especially nowadays. They got this platform, and it's sad to say, but believe it or not, this generation is all about trends. And apparently because of this woke generation, they seem to think that it is a trend, that it is trendy to be Christian and to post things of Christ, but they're not living Christ. They don't want to be Christ-like. They're just doing the next best trend. And so you have people pretending to be Christian and posting Christian things, but are not living that Christian life. Then we all have the very actual teachers and leaders and preachers that God has put in position to preach and teach his word, that is losing sight, and they're becoming self-righteous people that they believe that since they've got this all-knowing wisdom, so to speak, and this knowledge a little bit, they're getting a little bit arrogant. And they are pointing fingers at people of what is right, what the word says, because they have it memorized and what to do, but yet they are not living that life. As soon as they're not on these videos, as soon as they're not in these platforms, on these public views, they're living their life however they choose and how they want. That's exactly what the Pharisees and the Sadducees did. It was all about for show, but that wasn't about that life. Christ asked us to read the word and to live it. Not just to read it, but to apply it to our lives. To place these words upon our heart. The very first commandment says to love God with all your might, all your heart, and all your soul. If you truly love God, then this word and everything in it, you would be applying it. You will be obedient. You would try. Now, we all know that we are sinners. And we are living in this fleshly body that is trying to corrupt us, trying to get us to be of this world. And so we're going to fail, we're going to make mistakes, we're learning as we go. We're not perfect, we're not Jesus. We're trying our hardest to be Christ-like and to follow in the footsteps of Christ. God knows that we're not going to get it all right away. So sometimes it's that being hard on ourselves that sets ourselves back. That's Satan whispering in your ear, oh, look, you done messed up and you done did this and that. You know, why even bother? And oh, you tried to correct it again, and here you are, you're failing. And this is how many times have you done this and failed? You might as well just give it up. God's getting tired, and he's not. Keep on trying. For it's not over until the trumpets call out in the skies and everybody hears them all at once. Oh, unless you die. But God knows what was in your heart, and he sees that you was trying. But those who purposely, there's a difference between trying and trying to overcome. Then those people who is living purposely in their sin, believing that they have till tomorrow. Oh, I'll fix it right now. I'm focused on this and I'm focused on doing it. It's okay. because God knows my heart. No, he knows that you are purposely willing to put it off till tomorrow. There's a difference between trying to overcome temptation and messing up. God sees that. And those who is purposely putting it off. There's a difference. You're not trying to overcome it. You're just not trying to deal with it. You don't think that you have to, or you're too good, or that you have tomorrow to do it. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. What are you going to do when tomorrow never comes? God tells you that you're not guaranteed tomorrow. That he doesn't even promise you tomorrow. And I get it. You got a lot of these Christ followers out here, Mr. and Mrs. Smarty Pants. Oh, well, we've read the book of Revelation and we may be in the end times, but we're not even at this point yet because this part hasn't even happened. And you know what? Some of these prophecies haven't even come to pass, so we got some time. So when I start seeing the last bit of these prophecies that has yet to be filled, then maybe I might start getting together. Oh, the arrogance of yourself. God has a right to change his mind. He keeps his promises, but he does have a right to change his mind. A lot of people say, no, God don't change his mind. Oh, yes, he does. The Israelites went around in the desert for 40 years. He kept his promise. Oh, those he had set free did make it too. Their children did. Made it to the land of milk and honey. But that generation, the ones that were so ungrateful and just kept gimme, and taking and not actually caring, but just so greedy. He said, you will not see. I'll wipe out this whole generation. That, my friend, he changed his mind on those people. There's incidents in this Bible where he shows you where he changes his mind. He has created new covenants. If we made one covenant, then made another covenant, and then made another covenant. And these other covenants trump over these other covenants. That is changing his mind, changing his covenant, creating a new covenant. Not that he didn't want that covenant no more. It was that covenant was for those people and that day and time and in that generation. For new generations is always coming up. Is the Bible being rewritten and having new verses come out and new stories to be told in new covenants? No. Now it's all said and done. So now we can go by this word. His word. A lot of people, just because we are in the new covenant, believe that we don't have to obey the old law, that we are above the law. We are not. God wrote that law in stone. When people say that it's written in stone, what do they mean by that? It's permanent. It's set in stone. Even Jesus tells you, even though when he speaks of the new commandments, he is saying the old commandments, but just rewording it, but they say the same and they still apply. And even he tells you that the old commandments is still law. Too many people out here are trying to find the minimum amount of work and obedience that they have to do to be a Christ follower. How sad is that? How greedy is that? Somebody who sacrifices for you day and night, pours out blessings and gives you life and protects you and does all these many things that you can't even comprehend. And all you care about doing is the bare minimum. God died for you. And you want to do the bare minimum. It shouldn't worry about the commandments. It shouldn't be worrying about the laws. You should just be worrying about, are you right with Christ? Is he in your heart? Is he consuming all of your life? Because you consume all of his life. For something that is a mere speck in his big mighty palm, you consume his whole life. He cares that much for you. And if all you can think about is just a bare minimum to get by and to get into heaven's gate, how sad is that? But that is today's world. That's how everybody is. Just gimme, what can I get? As long as it pertains to me. If it ain't got nothing to do with me, I don't want nothing of it. Who cares about somebody else's feelings? It's all about me. Me. It's a greedy generation that we are living in. Fast times. Quick buck. If that's how you see things, if that is how your world is, you've got a lot to change. You've got a lot to overcome. Because God is not a genie in a bottle.